And you should take a lot of efforts in understanding this. So, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim ghayril maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. We pray that the Almighty Allah grant us His knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And above all, we pray that we are among those that Allah will guide into the right path of success. Quran chapter 2 verse 2 says that this is the horrible book without mistake. That we are among those who will make it. Allahumma Amin Ya Rabbi. So this week, today we are dealing with workshop 2, okay? And tomorrow we are going to do question papers, but basically we shall choose. We are going to do a question paper of last year, okay? Tomorrow. Okay. It is okay. Okay. So you get it? Yes. Tomorrow we shall do the same. Okay. Corporate and commercial. We shall do 2 papers, inshallah. Okay. So we get ready because we don't have time. Okay. And it's going to help us remind ourselves on the different things. Okay. You will understand that you understood. We divide our banking into 2. We said 1 is what we call establishment of financial institutions, and then 2 is carrying on the business of financial institution business. So under these, the last one is what you covered in workshop 1. So your workshop 1 was basically looking at carrying on financial institution business. Under this, you looked at the different categories of business, though you did not exhaust the same. Okay, you did not exhaust the same. How then, after you looked at how these businesses are conducted, you looked at how it is conducted by use of bills of exchange. You looked at the different categories of bills of exchange. You looked at a check. You looked at promissory notes, bills of lading, whatever the case may be. You looked at how it is carried out through agents, how it is carried out through internet banking, what we call electronic transactions. So that means then after you looked at the transaction is between who and who. That's the bank and the customer, the bank and a consumer. So you had to relate the relationship, the way you've understood it, with the different terms and conditions. Because if the terms and conditions do outweigh the bank-customer relationship, those conditions do not stand the law, okay? Then also you had to read the Bank of Uganda Consumer Protection Guidelines to see if the said consumer relationship in the workshop is inconsistent to that, to the protection guidelines. So once you realize that they are inconsistent, that means they can't try him. They don't have any legality under the law. So, but for today, basically, we are going to look at establishment of financial institutions. Okay? Before we read the law, the first thing you need to understand, what is a financial institution? So let's note down these questions. They are going to be our guiding tools when we are understanding this workshop. Okay. The first question is, what is a financial institution? What is a financial institution? Then the second question is, what are the different categories of financial institutions? What are the different categories of financial institutions? Then our third question is, what are the necessary requirements to establish the different categories of financial institutions? What are the different requirements to establish the different categories of financial institutions? Then, what is the process, or how are these institutions licensed? That calls for the process of licensing. Then after licensing, we go to who is allowed under the law to manage these institutions. In brackets, you put corporate personality, or sorry, corporate governance. Okay. Who is allowed under the law to manage these institutions? Then in brackets, you put corporate governance. Because here I'm going to look at who can govern a financial institution. Okay. Then after, we shall look at who controls or supervises financial institutions. Because these financial institutions are supervised by different entities. Deposit taking are supervised by the Bank of Uganda. Non-deposit taking that they are managed by, we shall see them. Okay. Yes. Okay. So let's start with our first question. You'll see, like in 1 hour when we are done and everything is okay. Okay. But the way we read makes things hard. Okay. So let's start with our first question. Someone with the Financial Institutions Act as amended. Okay. Someone with the Financial Institutions Act as amended. Yes?
Yes. This financial institution.
Okay. So are we together? What's way to consider that? Let's look for that one of 2022. Okay. So are we there? Yes. Okay. Now are we there? So you have it. Which section? Let's look at section 3. It defines a financial institution. Section 3 of the Financial Institutions Act as amended. What's the interpretation section? Yes, are we there? It says,
financial institution means a company licensed to carry on or conduct financial institutions business in Uganda.
Let's stop there. Okay. It says financial institution means a company licensed to carry on or conduct financial institution business in Uganda. Okay, that's what we are interested in. Okay. means okay. So the catchword in this, we have company, then Uganda. Okay. So to appreciate that principle, I want you to make reference to the case of Hamis Chigundu versus DTB. Also, you look at the famous case of Simba Group of Companies. Okay. Okay. Also look at Simba Group of Companies. Okay. Okay, the vintage case. Okay. Use the vintage case. Yes. There are two cases on your reading list. Okay. Look at the vintage case. It is it's an workshop 2. Yeah. Let's go to workshop 2. Vintage case. It is case number 4 and case number 5. Okay, please refer to them. Please make me the host. Council Loy, kindly make me the host. We have a couple of people in the waiting room. Make me the host, please. Okay, are we together? So when you read that case, the vintage case, okay, take time, pay attention to details. Remember the facts of the case, okay? Where a Ugandan citizen borrowed money from South African citizens who are operating as a partnership. So they came to demand for the same. So the question is, were they a company licensed to carry on the business of financial institution business in Uganda? So that question was answered in that case. So take time and refer to the same. Okay. Council Reste, kindly make me the host. Make me the host, please. Okay. So now we go on. Let's go to our question 2. What are the different categories of financial institutions? What are the different categories of financial institutions? So we are going to be combining a couple of questions when we are dealing with each and every financial institution. Okay. Okay, so now when we are dealing with the different categories of financial institutions, we have a number of laws, okay, that are on that act. So the first category we shall look at, financial institutions established under the Financial Institutions Act. Okay, yes, the first category we are looking at financial institutions established under the Financial Institutions Act. So when you are dealing with each and every financial institution, make sure you understand is key. Okay, that is key. Yes, established under the Financial Institutions Act. Okay. Inshallah, by closure of Wednesday, we intend to have a compiled write-up on banking with the recent decisions, inshallah. On all, discussing everything in its entirety. Very brief and on point, inshallah. Okay, so go on. So the first institution we have is a bank. A bank. Okay. So with the act, how does the act define a bank? Yes? Answer right. Right. You know, you make things the way you understand, just because we need material all the time. Eh? Yes? 2022. It's inclusive in the one you have. Okay? It's inclusive. Let's go. The bank.
Bank means.
Section 3 says bank means any company licensed to carry on financial institution business as its principal business as specified in the second schedule to this act and includes all branches and offices of that company in Uganda. Okay, so now when you go to the schedule, you've been hearing, okay, so what you should not, banks are categorized into different. We have commercial banks. What else? We know these banks, we've been seeing them. We have commercial banks, merchant banks. Merchant banks? Yes.
Are there banks are banks?
No, we have commercial banks, okay? We have commercial banks, for example. We have Stanbic, Absa, Equity, Standard Chartered. Those are commercial. When you look at their mode of service, it's totally different. Then we have what we call merchants. In Uganda, we call them bankers abasuubuzi. You've seen them. Go to Chikubo. There are some banks that are not in Chikubo. Did you realize that? DFCU. No, Pride is not a bank. You see, when you go to Opportunity Bank and you come to Absa, they are different, the way they operate. So now, after looking at that, you ask yourself, what are the prerequisites of setting up a bank? Okay, what are the prerequisites of setting up a bank? Let's go. Prerequisites of setting up a bank. What is in section 4? Yes. Okay, so if you want to learn, okay, if you want to learn the different requirements, let's go for section 4. It says,
a person shall not transact any deposit taking or other financial institution business in Uganda without a valid license granted for that purpose.
So that means all financial institutions require a valid license. But what things do they base on for you to grant you that license? Okay, so the first requirement is should be a company. It's the first requirement. No financial institution can carry on such business when it is not a company. Because you read the definition, company. So they'll give you the IA. When these guys are conducting their business, they're dealing in real estate. Okay? They are just friends. They always say that there are 3 friends. They have an enterprising business, but they have been giving out loans to their friends. Isn't that financial institution business? So that means they are doing something illegally. So the first thing you do, establish a company. So you'll find a legend who just goes. Okay? So first look at the facts. Ask yourself, do they have an existing company? If they don't have, the first thing you look at is establishment of a company. Okay? So now, the presumption is we have a company. What is the second requirement? What is the second requirement? Is capital. Capital, okay? So when you are dealing with capital, what is the maximum or minimum capital of establishing a bank? Your facts, they always give you the amount of money these guys have. It always determines the type of institution to make. Always, okay? So let's go to what we call the minimum capital requirement regulations. Okay? You go to the minimum capital requirement regulations. It's on. Okay. The financial sector adequacy requirement. Some on some acts it's number 44 on some acts. No, I don't know use this word now. Okay. Are we there? What's the? Can you open the act? Huh? Yes, it's the minimum capital requirement regulations. Try to check around 44 and see what's there. It's there. It's there. It's around here. Check slowly. Okay. So are we there? Can have you seen the minimum capital requirement? Okay, so let's go to regulation 6. Okay, you got regulation 6. Regulation 6, minimum paid up capital requirements for financial institutions. Okay.
The financial institutions capital
adequacy regulations. Okay. Yes. It says the minimum capital funds unpaid by losses of a licensed bank shall at any one time not be less than Uganda shillings 25 billion. Okay. So that means it is 25. Yes, there is an amendment. Okay, to how much?
120 billion.
No, 120 per pound.
Okay, there is another amendment.
Which one? Let me first look at it.
Let's turn to the switch here.
2018.
This is the one. It's the one.
One of 25. Yesterday it was 120.
Okay, no, we have a practice direction that is out, a new one. It says how much? 120 billion. Okay.
Councillor Rashid, pardon.
Yes. So the minimum capital requirement for you to start up a bank, when you read the previous law, okay, it said 25 billion, but the law was amended. They say 120. We have a practice direction, which is not attached here, that supplements that law. Okay, that's too low. Because if by 2018, it was 25 billion, it can't go below. Probably what we read is what we call microfinance deposit taking. They are different. Okay, that's for microfinance deposit taking. So we go on.
That's in the new election.
Yes. Okay. the name. That's the same act. You're ready. Okay. The act is known as, let me read. Okay, it is known as the Financial Institutions Revision of Minimum Capital Requirements Instrument of 2022. Revision Minimum Capital Requirement Instrument of 2022. Okay, yes. Okay, it's not attached to this. Okay, 130. So you look for it, it says a person proposing to transact financial institution business in the capacity of a bank shall have a minimum paid up cash capital of not less than 6 million currency points by 31st December 2022. So when you convert that money, because every one currency point is equivalent to how much? 20,000. So make 20,000 times that money, you will see the required minimum capital. Okay, they are saying not less than 6 million currency points. So that implies that do 6 million times 20,000. You will see if your calculator will still count. Okay, so it is 120 billion. You can share it at the platform. Okay, so are we together? So now, after capital, what other requirements do we need for you to set up that? Okay, but what you should note, capital is in different ways. We have what we call minimum capital, we have adequacy capital, they are different. So when you keep on reading that, those regulations, they go on telling you the different categories of capital they are referring to. Okay, so are we together? Now, after capital, the next, what do we need? The things we look at, you get a license. Then we go to management. Because when you are applying, one of the things you attach, the proposed directors and other employees. Okay, so to qualify, the person should be fit and proper. Okay, so let's go to section 3. It will define for us who is a fit and proper person. But mark this, whatever we are doing, you have to do it on each and every financial institution. On each and every financial institution. Okay. Okay, so number 3, management. But under management, what they look for, the proposed directors, are they fit and proper? What if we license when you have directors like Full Figure, Body Black? Okay, what is the implication? So let's go to section 3. Section 3 says that fit and proper person means a person as determined according to the criteria in the 3rd schedule of the Act. So let's open the 3rd. Yes, Council.
Section 3 of the Bank of Uganda Act.
No, the Financial Institutions Act.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so are we there? So the 3rd schedule gives you the criteria. So the person you should present should fit in that criteria. Okay, so we have people who will never be directors of a financial institution. The question is, are you a man or you are not? Okay, it is a heavy question. The question is, are you a man or you can explain? Okay, so Cancer, are you there? You're there. The Financial Institutions Act. So it sends you to the 3rd schedule. Are you there? The 3rd schedule of the Financial Institutions Act. Okay. Yes. First go there. We are all there. So now, whatever is listed there, They're saying that one criteria for determining, it is at page 146 of the Financial Institutions Act, says that the criteria for determining whether a person is fit and proper, okay? One, they're saying that his or her general probity. What do you understand by general probity? How do people perceive you in the society generally? Okay? Imagine you go to Centenary and full figure comes out as the bank manager. You see also laughing, okay? Mama Jonah comes out, okay? You see? Baby Cool, people are saying that he's not fit to be the finance minister of the federation. But the person who did pay him, without any other qualification, I don't know, okay? You get it, okay? So your general probity in the society, how do people perceive you in the society, okay? That's the first one. Because when you look at a workshop, they gave you, the richest guy in the group is a senior 4 dropout. In your facts, who's the richest guy? In your facts of workshop too? Yes, okay? Is a senior 4 dropout, okay? Let's go then another one. His or her competence and soundness of judgment, okay? His or her competence and soundness of judgment, okay? Who is so controversial in making decisions, okay? I don't want to use the same example. I don't want to say that, let's make reference to Bebe Cool's arguments on TV and radio. I don't want to use that example, okay? So you look at, you have colleagues now. Why is this person even submitting? Because whatever he's speaking is nonsense, okay? Why? This person is incompetent of making sound decisions. So how can we entrust someone with our money? He may end up lending the money to his entire family, okay? His competence in making sound decisions. Then another one, the diligence with which the person commenced in fulfilling or likely to fulfill the responsibilities. Diligence, say, okay? The diligence of that person in fulfilling his or her obligations, okay? Then another one, whether the interest of the depositor's money, have you ever been there? You have a group and they say, Jeff will be our treasurer, and help saying, no. You see? Why? People are like, will our money be safe? Okay, so that means the depositor's money is at risk. Okay, but if they say, Hajat can be our treasurer. So you get it, yeah? So the trust, can we entrust someone with a financial institution? Okay. Then another one, we have whether this person has been convicted of any offense relating to fraud and dishonest. Bad Black. She has her other name. She calls herself the Chief Embezola. I saw her recent post saying that I've been so broke for this entire time. Where did I put the money for this Muzungu? I swear I need one Muzungu for the last time. I'll go there, I'll be very humble. I'll tell him I'm from she said that she's from yeah. Then she will say, I'll introduce who this gentleman stays with as a Shamba boy. Then after I tell him I want us to adopt some kids from Uganda. Then I bring Jonah and the colleagues. Then after him trusting me like nothing, I start my embezzling activities for the last time. Why? Okay. The reason is if someone has ever done something, okay, that person cannot change. Once a soldier is always a soldier. Once a thief is always a thief. Things don't change. So if you ever been convicted, that means you lack honesty. So that means the depositor's money is at risk. We can't entrust you with the institution. Then another one, where the person has been a director of an institution that has been liquidated. For an institution that has been liquidated. Okay. When you look at, I have a friend I know. This guy was a branch manager of Greenland Bank somewhere, but he has never been employed anywhere. You can't. That's the law. So that means once we entrust you with a financial institution, make sure it is not liquidated. That's why Crane Bank fought up to the end so that it is not liquidated. Okay? You get it? Okay? Are we together? So that it is very bad, okay? It's like having your husband who passes on and people say that person, that your husband was HIV positive. So everyone looks at it and say, oh, that's danger. You get it, okay? Then lastly, that this person has engaged in any business which is deceitful in the discretion of the central bank. Okay, business which is unbecoming. Okay, at the discretion of the central bank. Okay, then, but this one is funny, that you've been a director of a company that defaulted in a loan. You've been a director of massive group of companies, but it defaulted on a loan in Stanbic Bank. So then your colleagues open up a bank, they call you when the other company defaulted. So what does that mean? You are a defaulter as well. Okay. So now we presume that all those things we've looked at, you are set and good to go. Okay. So then we go to what we call the licensing process. Okay. We go to the licensing process. So what you should know that in these other institutions, some of the things we're not going to repeat them. Yeah. Okay. Don't worry so much. Because now, how many institutions do we have? What time shall we leave this place? Okay. So you go back to our section 4. You want to know where do we apply? Okay. 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 Are you there? Okay. As you look at section 4, section 4 does not clearly tell you where you are. Does it? It does not. Okay. Then after you go to what we call the financial institutions licensing regulations. You see how you get a license, what documents accompany your application, where do we apply? Okay. Yes. We are looking at the bank council in Poland. Okay, are we together? Okay, so when you look at those regulations, where do we apply and what accompanies the application? You look at regulation 11. It says application for license. An application for license shall be made in duplicate in the form set out in Schedule 1 and shall be accompanied by the supporting documents specified in Regulation 12. An application for license must specify the class. When they say class of license, remember in our first discussion, you have to specify, because a class you have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and so that is those are classes of banks. Okay, you get it. So each class has a different types of activities. That's why you may go to Centenary. The services in Centenary Bank are not the same services in DFCU. Are not the same. Why? You specify, because your class depends on what you are dealing in. They are all banks, okay? But for you, just come out, okay? You just enter Post Bank, you get out. You enter ABS. You say, was I in the bank the other side? I'm not saying, but both are banks, but their classes differ. So when you are applying for the license, you make sure you specify what you're going to deal in. And your license, if issued, it's only and only under that. Once you do that, the doctrine of ultra-vires comes into play because you are a company. Mark that, okay? Then you say that a non-refundable application fee of Uganda shillings 1 million for banks and Uganda shillings 500 for non-bank financial institutions shall accompany each application for license. Okay? Banks and non-banks. We shall see now what they mean for non-banks slowly. For a bank, it's 1M. Then after that, it is accompanied by the documents under 12. They are many. You will read them. But under those, we need particulars of directors, particulars of secretaries, particulars of proposed employees, even their biodata, where they come from. Yes? We are going to get to them, okay? We are going to get to them, okay? So are we together? Okay? So that where is that application made? It is made to the central bank. So if you want to know what is a central bank, you go to what we call the Bank of Uganda Act. Okay? Because it's the central bank. So when you read it, one of its duties is to issue licenses. Okay? To issue licenses. So now the presumption is this institution has applied, and after application, it has been issued with the license. Not so. After it has been issued with the license, then the next step will be carrying on financial institution business. When it starts carrying on financial institution business, then we go to the last part known as supervision. How do we supervise financial institutions? Okay, so let's go to the Bank of Uganda Act now. Okay, the Bank of Uganda Act. Okay. So when you look at section 5, powers of the central bank. Okay, look at its powers. Under its powers, it is given the different mandates. Okay, So you can look at, you start from section 4, talks about its duties, okay? When you look at section 4, subsection 2, paragraph J, it says that the Bank of Uganda shall supervise, regulate, control, and discipline all financial institutions. Okay. Section 4, subsection 2, paragraph J. Okay. So are we together? So, but the different ways, yes, we've seen it has the powers, but how is this done? The first one is by creating what we call the Depositors Protection Fund. Okay, that's why it is managed by the Bank of. When you look at all the adverts of deposit-taking institutions, they say the Depositors Fund is protected by the deposit. You get it? Every financial institution in its advert tells us about the same. Okay. Then another way they supervise is by liquidation. A petition for liquidation of a financial institution is brought by Bank of Uganda. Yes, it's brought by the Bank of Uganda. Look at Greenland Bank, read its case. Look at also Crane Bank. The petition was brought by who? Bank of Uganda. Because why? Once you go below the minimum capital requirement, that means you can't manage financial institution business. So we have to let you go. That's the duty of the central bank. So let's go to the second or other institutions. These ones, we are going to combine them, but I think basically, let's look at what you call we say non-banking institutions. They are also under the Financial Institutions Act, okay? Non-banking, okay? Say non-banking, okay? You're going to see there. They are there, okay? Non-banking institutions. These institutions, they do not carry out banking, okay? They do not carry out banking, but they are under the Financial Institutions Act, okay? The first one is what we call a finance house, okay? Okay, so for liquidation, as I've said, you look at part 11, basically section 97, liquidation of the Financial Institutions Act, and then supervision, you look at part 8, basically section 79. Okay, so liquidation, we are looking at, we said liquidation, you look at section 97, and then supervision, you look at 79 of the Financial Institutions Act. Okay, are we there? So we are looking at the non-banking institutions. These institutions, they are under the Financial Institutions Act. Because of the interest of time, let's just outline them, okay? But when you are looking at them, we follow the same procedure, okay? Yes, they've arranged the bank, all these institutions, for you to understand them, because you will come to a wrong conclusion of a financial institution, you will not cure. You will advise a bank to take on a wrong manager, you will not cure as well. Okay? You get out of that IA. The reason here they gave these guys a circle, 90% did a financial MDI, 90%. But they saw the cash word in a circle is numbers. It doesn't matter how much money you have, but how many people. Okay, when they started teachers and mistakenly, guys went on and discussed something different. But the problem was emanating from not understanding what to do. Okay, So let's go to the non-banking institutions. One, we have a finance house. It's under section 3, paragraph. Okay, the main finance house. But the finance house basically here in Uganda, they are rare. Okay, they are rare, finance house. But you go to UK. Okay. So when you look at it says a finance house means a company licensed to conduct financial institution business in Uganda, which is specified in the second schedule of this act. So you go to the second schedule, it will tell you, okay, that yes, the definition section, okay, exactly, okay. So are we together? Okay, so that's you, that define everything is clear under this act, but the challenge is how do you get how these acts apply? Okay, the second schedule, okay, and it is very clear. Non-banking institutions, these institutions, they don't carry on banking. Okay, then another one we have is the Islamic banking, the Islamic bank. Islamic banks, you know how they operate? They are not yet operative, but I think, were they launched? Okay, we have Mudaraba, Mudarisu, and Musharaka. Okay, leave them those first. The first who did Islamic banking. Okay, we shall confuse you for no reason. Okay, yes, because we do not carry on this normal banking, you guys know. Okay, so we don't do it. Okay, for us, everything is based on Islamic principles. We don't do the normal way. Okay, for us, when you come to the Islamic bank and you want to get a loan, we deal with what we call Islamic loans. So we ask you, what entity do you want to operate? So we look at either we give you a loan under Mudaraba, Mudarisu, or Musharaka. Okay, so what happens if we are dealing with Musharaka? We establish the business together. We share profits, but those profits would be the loan you took. So if we say that we at the start, when the business booms, we take like 60% of the profits, you take 40. So the more the loan reduces, the more we reduce on the sharing of the profits. Then after, it's called what called reducing profit. Okay, after we've shared the profits and the total sum of the loan you took is out, then we leave the business and we hand over to you. Okay, they are also shared. Everyone, if you want that loan, basically they're here in Uganda currently. Go to Tropical Bank. Okay. Okay, let's go on. Okay, so you look at that and appreciate the same. Okay, then excuse me. Okay, we go on. Okay, then another institution we have is credit institutions. Okay, credit institutions. Credit institutions. Credit institutions. Again, you come to section 3. It defines the credit institution very well. It says credit institution means a company licensed to carry on financial institution business in Uganda, which is specified in the second schedule. Again, you go to the second, they will tell you, because what is in the second schedule They tell you how each and every business operates. If you are dealing with the credit, you only issue credits. We have those institutions here in Uganda. Okay, who has ever heard of Platinum Credit? They make their advert. It's the only institution where you get credit in 24 hours. Okay, it's called the Platinum Credit. It doesn't carry on any other business, but it only gives credit. So when you go to the second scale, the same thing. Okay, a credits in the literal meaning that a credit institution in Uganda is say bagabalo zokka. Okay, we don't have these guys don't you don't open up savings accounts, whatever the case may be. No. Okay, you just go for credits. Okay, that's what they give credit very fast so that they can take your property very well. Okay, but they are good. Okay, but not good for Muslims. You can't fight with Allah. Okay. Okay, then another institution we have, it's what we call a discount house. Okay, we have a discount house. And then lastly, we have what we call acceptancy house. Okay, so those are the other institutions. So those are only under the Financial Institutions Act. So when you are looking at them, please, you will follow the same criteria. Okay, everything. The reason why the Act refers them as financial institutions, all the sections we read, they equally apply. When you proceed with the law, it tells you on each and every institution. Okay, the minimum capital requirement revision regulations. After the bank, they got all those, they tell you. Okay, that one is not uniform. It's the only thing that changes. Very simple. So when you are given a workshop, you first look at the people mentioned in the workshop, how much do they have and what they want to do, so that you determine the right institution to establish. Banking is simple. Okay, so let's go to our second category. Okay, let's go to our second category. This one is the simplest. Okay, and most of you want to do, and some of you carry them on. And you know, let's go to financial institutions under the Tier 4 Microfinance and Moneylenders Act. Okay, so let's go institutions under the Tier 4 Microfinance and Moneylenders Act. Okay, so under this act, we have two categories of businesses. Okay, the first one we have is what we call Tier 4. Okay, they are called Tier 4 Microfinance institutions. The first one, okay, they are known as Tier 4 Microfinance institutions. Okay, then the second category is what we call money lending. They are two. Okay, so let's understand the first one. Okay, so the first one is what we call Tier 4 Microfinance institutions. Okay, so let's go to section 4 of the Tier 4 Microfinance and Moneylenders Act. Section 4. It says
classification of Tier 4 microfinance institutions. For the purpose of this act, Tier 4 microfinance institutions shall comprise SACCOs.
So you see, under section 4, we are given numerous institutions, okay, that make up tier 4. So the first one we have is a SACCO. So for purposes of understanding, we are going to deal with the SACCO only. Okay, you get it? But because those ones, they are not regulated. Let's list all of them, but then we come back, we deal with a circle. So we have a circle.
Non-deposit taking microfinance institutions.
Non-deposit microfinance institutions.
Self-help groups.
Self-help groups. Now, self-help groups currently we have Nigina. Okay. We have BRAC changes. Okay. BRAC is now a bank. Self-help groups. Okay. BRAC started as a self-help group. It went to a circle. It went to a microfinance. Then it is a bank now. Yes, it is a bank. Okay. Yes, it's called BRAC Bank Uganda. Okay. Still a circle. But those guys, they're pushing a motion. They become a microfinance. But once they become a microfinance deposit taking, they should be borrowing people who are not soldiers. And it defeats the aim of the institution. Okay. So we go on. Are we there? So let's go to the circle now. Okay. So now, let's go back and define a circle. So what things do you look again? We take the same procedure. First, ask yourself, what is a circle? What things do you look at so that you establish a circle, the requirements? Then you go to the licensing criteria, like that. Things are simple and understandable. Yeah. A circle is registered. A self-help group is not registered, basically. Okay. So let's go. When you go to, yes, when you go to the definition section, it sends you to section 40. So section 40 says that circle, okay? Section 40 of the Tier 4 Microfinance and Money Lenders Act. So section 40 says that circle which is licensed under this act shall include the words savings and credit cooperative society or circle in the name. So what does that mean? Look at Uzalendo. Okay, look at its names. Okay, it's a circle, not so. So we are going to see the characteristics of a circle. Okay. So when you look at section 30, section 38, okay, it says licensing of a circle. Okay, a circle that intends to carry on a business of a financial service among its members shall apply to the authority. Okay, an application shall be accompanied by a certified copy of a certificate that the first requirement, okay, the first requirement for you to establish a circle, it should be a registered cooperative society. So ask yourself, what are the requirements of registering a cooperative society? So that takes us to what we call the Cooperative Societies Act. Okay, that's how we get there. We read these acts. You can read this entire thing in 2 days. Just that knowing how to get there, it's the problem. Okay, so we are at the cooperative societies. So when you are looking at this, okay, first ask yourself, okay, what things do we look at? You go to part 2, which deals with registration. Okay, it says there shall be a register of cooperative societies, who shall also be the commissioner of cooperative societies. So we want to understand, okay, for you to register this, what things do you look for? you go to section 4. It tells you the conditions, okay? 1, no society shall be registered under this act unless it consists of at least 30 persons, of all of whom are qualified membership of the society in section 13. You see how we flow. When you look at it, says at least 30, okay? So when they give you the workshop and you see the number of people is that and above, it is not a bank, it's not a microfinance, not money lending, it is a SACCO. That and above, okay? 30 and, so then ask yourself, yes, you have the 30 people, but again, those 30 people, we have a requirement, okay? We have a requirement for everyone to qualify. Not everyone qualifies to be a member of a SACCO. So then we go to which section? 13. So section 13 says that in order to be qualified for membership of a registered society, persons or other than registered society of the company incorporated under the Companies Act, okay, shall be permitted to become a member in section 15, shall 1, have attained the age of 18 years. That's the first one. So all members in a SACCO should be 18 and above. Then another, they should all be residents from the same society. You can't claim that you're a member of a SACCO in Kaguguve when you are a resident of Gayaz. Oyagala Tuba. You get it? Okay? Okay, you should be residents in the same society or in occupation of land within the same society as specified by the law. Okay? So, but when it comes to that, this act further explains, if you are not in the same area, you can be carrying on the same, like when you, as you see soldiers, that's why their SACCO only deals with, so non-soldiers, they don't access that money. Are they soldiers? Okay, so if I want a loan from that SACCO, a good example, these ladies have SACCOs. Mami Aisha, please can borrow for me from you. So because Mami Aisha is a member, she will borrow. But after borrowing, she gives money to Rebecca. Then it's hard to demand Rebecca. So Rebecca has to make sure gives Mami Aisha the money. So Rebecca shouldn't appear anyway. So if Rebecca disappears, Mami Aisha should die in her own movie. You get it? Okay? So when they give you facts, your predecessors, they are given a task where all these guys were primary teachers who were affected by COVID. And they went, and because that they had their savings, so they have collected a sum of, they gave them some good money. So when you look at the money, they say, this capital is for an MDI. But an MDI can't be managed by 30 people, fit and proper test. Now, guys, 90% did that, and at the end of the day, they are crushed by the Holy Spirit. Okay, so you get it. So, okay, so now for the SACCO, it is very simple. Okay, once you get a certificate, okay, when you are a registered cooperative society, nothing much. You get that certificate, you get the application form, you write and send to the authority. Which authority? Yes, which authority? It's just here, okay, opposite the head office of national order. That's where that authority is. Which, how do we call that authority? Yes, how do we call that authority? Council, read the act, defines the authority, the definition. Okay. Section 3 defines, doesn't it define authority? Yes, it's the microfinance. Section 5 defines the authority. It says authority means the Uganda Microfinance Regulatory Authority established under Section 6. So what does this mean? all institutions under the Tier 4 Microfinance Institutions Act and money lenders are supervised by the Microfinance Regulatory Authority. Even money lenders are under that authority. Very simple like that. Okay. So you read your workshop accordingly. Okay. Then after that, the next institution we have is what we call money lending under that act. Okay. Money lending is under which section? Section 70. It's under section 70. It's under section 77, but it is just the same. Very simple. You get there, I tell you how to apply the requirements. Very simple. Okay. And just know all the institutions under that act, they don't have minimum capital. All, they don't have minimum capital. Why? They are not governed by Bank of Uganda. That's the thing. Okay. They are not governed by the Bank of Uganda. Okay. So when you go to money lending, you look at section 70, 74, and things will work out automatically. 77? Yeah, 77. Okay. Of the Tier 4 Microfinance and Money Lenders Act. Very simple things. Okay. Very simple and precise. Okay. Then the last category of institution we have is what we call institutions. What it's called the microfinance deposit taking institution. The microfinance deposit taking institution. The microfinance deposit taking institution. Okay. Now, the first things first. Okay. Ask yourself, guys, the way we read this law. Okay. It's called, the institution is called microfinance deposit taking institutions. First, break that definition. Okay. What you call it MDI, break it. Understand what is microfinance deposit taking institution. Start with the microfinance, then go to deposit taking, so that you write something you understand. Does the Act define microfinance institutions? Okay. Section 2 says micro deposit institution means a finance deposit taking institution. Okay. Then after reading that, okay, it carries on what we call microfinance. Okay. It's called microfinance business. Microfinance institutions, they do not carry on what we call financial institutions business. For them, they carry on what we call microfinance business. Okay, of the MDI, microfinance deposit. Okay, are you together? Because I'm very sure in your facts, they told you that they want to do this and this and this, not by mistake. They are telling you the category of business they want to operate. So for you, you are dealing with an MDI and you are busy defining financial institutions business. Okay, an MDI does not carry on financial institution business. It carries on what we call microfinance business. Okay, and it says, then section 2 says, microfinance business means the business carried out as a principal business of a acceptance of deposits. When you go to Pride, Pride is a deposit taking institution. On the face of it, someone will say, hey, your bank, It is not a bank. Okay? It is a microfinance. The reason when you look at it, the operations look like of a bank, but the challenge is the type of work they do doesn't make them big banks. So why? The minimum capital requirement is different. Okay? That's why do banks give group loans? So now let's go. Continue with the type of business. Then it says to employing such deposits wholly or partly by lending or extending credit for the account and at the risk of the person accepting those deposits, including the provisions of short-term loans, small or micro enterprises, low-income households. Okay? They tell you that these guys have people, ladies in the village, they want to be giving out money. People within that society, they are low-income households. Okay? Simple as that. They give you the facts when they point exactly, when they have the answers. But the problem is reading the law. How do you get to the law? Answers are always there. Okay? Then you go on further, transacting short other activities regulated by Section 89. Okay? So just, okay, they give group loans. You go to Pride, you find 6 women of selling gonja. They got a loan of 4 million. Okay, everyone brings, so they have where they sit up with some boards. Everyone has a corner where they put their coins. But go to Centenary. Okay, simple as that. So you go back and look at your facts. What business? You are busy dealing with an institution which doesn't carry out the type of work that was given to you. So how can you discuss the workshop without showing the type of business that the institution is going to do? Okay, so you go back, review, because I saw your firms already did that one. Review it responsibly. Okay, and put that work in your books at your own risk. Okay, how? Get the work, look at it, look at the section cited in the work, get your act, read, and amend accordingly. Yes, I know you're out of time, and you want to be with work. You get some relaxation because weekends at LDC nowadays, they're just a vibe. Football after football. Okay, so let's go on. Okay, let's go on. So now, okay, are we together? So the same way, please mark this, the same way they treat a bank is the same way they treat an MDI. The same way they treat a bank, it's the same way they treat an MDI. Why? It is a deposit-taking institution, and it is also managed and supervised by the central. So whatever we did on the bank, it equally applies here.
The procedures.
The procedure is exactly the same. Nothing changes. Because this one is managed by the central bank. Okay? What changes is only the law, but whatever is in the other act is in this act. Okay? So then another criteria, things you look at, capital.
For this microfinance, you say that
that one for institutions under the tier 4 microfinance and money lenders. That one they have the word deposit taking. You get it? Okay. This one has deposit taking. Do you understand what amounts to deposit taking? Yes. Okay. Deposit in section 2 of the MDI says deposit means a sum of money received or paid on terms under which will be repaid with or without interest or a premium, and either on demand or at the time or in the circumstances agreed by or on behalf of the person making the payment. When you take your money in the bank, that's money paid. Okay? You've said deposit you've made. This money is payable on demand. A demand is on a case-to-case basis. Once a demand comes up, you feel like you need money, you need the workshop, you've not yet paid. That's a demand. You get the ATM card, you go to that's a demand. So your money is payable on demand. Or as the case may be, how these guys may agree. You have what you call a fixed deposit accounts. You fix your account for 2 years. When the time comes, the demand is like that. So when you see an institution doing that, it is a deposit-taking institution. So in circles, you just save your money. You just save. The moment you wake up, just go, they borrow you on your own money. You can't get it back on demand. And you go through a certain criteria of getting that money. It is either upon death, you go in the circle, you start claiming my father was a member, was a soldier, this is a death certificate, blah, blah. These are the letters. And you see if you get. Okay? But in the bank, get letters, you report the death, you go, you check who was the next of kin. You get your command. Because the circumstances there, very simple. Okay? So maybe the hardest thing here is looking for the minimum capital. So when you are dealing with an MDI, you first go and look at the capital. How much do they have? Which law deals with that? We have the microfinance deposit taking minimum capital requirement regulations. Microfinance deposit taking minimum capital requirement. Okay. See, okay. So how much money is that? Are we there? Cent of ton. Very little money. Even Hajat, you can start this institution. How much? It's only 500 million shillings. Yes. So you can't start that. That's small money. You ladies after here, you'll sell the entire kid and you get that money. Okay? So you see? So what basically that is workshop. Very simple and precise. No, that is a type of business that they can carry on. When you come here, what amounts to microfinance deposit taking business, those things are inclusive. Simple as that. It is section 6, regulation 6. Very simple. So you see how the workshop is simple? Okay. So take your time, read things and understand them at the slowest pace. Don't panic. Okay. Do not panic. Everything is possible. Okay. So tomorrow we shall look at the past papers, but we shall use the first 30 minutes. I show you the problem with the moot. Just know that the cause of action is breach of contract and negligence. That's the cause of action in the moot. Where is the negligence? Failure of the credit section to understand that they have given a low interest rate. That's negligence. Then 2, another type of negligence under those facts. Under those facts, failure upon entering to the addendum, when they notified the company, they failed to also make changes. Isn't that negligence? Then also they saw the company paying the loan, not so, but they knew was that the money they were supposed to pay. That's also failure, or letting the company pay the loan to full settlement without clarifying. Then the last kind of negligence, releasing the properties upon completion. All that is negligence. Then when you're dealing with breach of contract, look the facts constituting a cause of action are a bit hard. Why? In our first workshop, I told you that the bank customer relationship has different categories. We have lender borrower and guarantor guarantee. Look at your mood. They are dealing with the guarantor guarantee relationship. These guys borrowed money. Yes, we have that one, the first relationship of lender borrower. Okay. Then we have the second one, guarantor guarantee relationship, where the bank guaranteed this company when it got the contract to deal with Serena Chigo. Okay, the bank gave them a performance guarantee. Go and read the performance guarantee. It has what we call termination. Under what circumstances was the guarantee supposed to be terminated? Come back. What was the basis of terminating that guarantee? Failure to pay the money, which accrued as a result of negligence. So that means these guys breached the contract. Okay, so what are you seeking for? You can seek for special damages because you were entering into a contract that was terminated by Serena Chigo. You knew how much to earn, so, but how much did you spend? You don't have proof. So think between those lines. But you have general damages, you have a permanent injunction. These guys intend to do certain things. Okay, a declaration that they are in breach. Very simple. So take time and analyze those. The facts are different from obeyed tertiary. Okay, learn to differentiate cases. So that is very brief. It is very simple. The documents you need, it's a plain summary of evidence. Okay, the number of things, documents that accompany plaint, it will be a WSD and a reply. So very simple like that. Let me wish you the best. May God bless you. Let's meet tomorrow, and may Allah protect you abundantly. Yes.